Hello, I'm Jamie.
Hello, I'm Mark, and it's time for another episode of Through the Garden Gate. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything in between, that was the first raspberry of the year straight into George's gop. Don't worry, I didn't want it. It's Tuesday night, it's nearly 7:30. It's time for another episode of
Through the Garden Gate.
And it's episode number
92.
Well done. That took you a bit of thinking, didn't it?
Because I remember being...
I wonder if Jamie's here because we're early. Hello!
Hello, I'm here.
We're early. Check us out.
How are you, George?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Good. Been swimming?
Yeah.
How far do you swim?
I think the whole pool's like 12, I think.
12 what?
Pigs? Miles?
Meters, I think.
12 metres?
Miles?
12 meters, I think.
Got a gardening fact for us.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Today.
George actually did the research this week.
Oh, well done.
And it's a very good one.
Well done. Just
very
going to
good
clean
one.
the camera.
It's very good.
Well then.
This is really interesting, actually. George's garden fact. Shut up. You're interrupting my garden fact. Plants can communicate with each other through chemical signals. Asking... Wait, what did I say? Alerting nearby plants to potential threats like insect attacks.
So, plants talk to each other. If one of them gets attacked by a bug or a disease, it can tell the next plant it's going to happen.
And then they release chemicals to ward them off.
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
The first red raspberry of the year. I ate it.
Oh, fantastic.
Just gone in, hasn't it?
I wonder if different varieties of things can talk to different varieties of things.
Possibly. Because it's all through the mycelium, so it's all connected, isn't it?
Yeah.
So George was, because I wrote out the thing for him, he did the research and I wrote it, and at the end of it I put, my dad is the best, to see if he'd just carry on reading, but it didn't work.
Yeah. You are the best, but I wouldn't carry on because I thought my dad is the best, and I was like,
No, I'm not reading that.
no.
Right, are you going to go?
Hi.
See you later. See you
Thanks,
next week.
mate. Sorry we're cutting you short.
We'll speak to you more next week. Yeah? Off you go then.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye, Instagram.
I've turned this way again because I'm so dark and that sun behind
It
me.
is dark, isn't it? Are you in a shady spot?
No, it's because the sun's behind me again.
Okay. Right, should we get him in?
Get him in.
This evening, we have the OG of Instagram. Someone who introduced me to Gardengram. Also, the original Mr. Pallet before I went viral. He hosts his own podcast, and you may have seen him hosting stages at the BBC Gardeners World shows, as well as him being a regular writer for Amateur Gardening magazine. He was also recently featured on Alan Titchmarsh's television show. He has a great view from his potting bench. It is, of course, Adam Kirtland's view from the potting bench.
Hello.
Hello.
I missed my intro. I don't know all the nice things that you said about me.
It was an amazing intro.
Oh, was it? I'll have to watch it back tomorrow.
How you doing?
All right.
Go.
Great. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming on.
I've been looking forward to this all day long. All week long, obviously, but all day long as well.
Bit weird sitting on the other side, isn't it?
I know it is. I love it actually. I haven't got to think about what to ask and stuff. I've got to think about
I
what to say, but I haven't got to think about what to ask.
know.
You both all right?
I know.
Are you both sweltering in the heat?
Yes, it's rather.
No, it's
It's all right now,
not too
isn't it?
bad. Yeah, it's nice now. It's beautiful. I just had an hour out there watering. It's lovely.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it, like that? Because it's boiling in the day, and then it just suddenly like drops, doesn't it, in the UK? I was saying this to someone the other day. You know, like if you're in Spain or like Italy or something, where it sustains the heat.
Yeah.
It just seems to absorb all the heat, and
Yeah.
it just stays all night. It just doesn't do that here. It gets to like 7 or half 7, and suddenly just drops out of nowhere, doesn't it?
But saying that, my watch is still telling me it's 25 out here.
There's no way. Oh, it's definitely
That's
not
what it
25
says.
degrees here. It's not cold, but it's definitely not 25 degrees.
Wow, you're in the Midlands, aren't you?
This is true. This is true. This
Should
is
be
true.
warmer there, surely.
No,
You're
well,
in a
I think it's kind of the thing with Birmingham is that it's just fairly like static. Like it doesn't really like it does get hot and it does get cold, but it you don't have like the extremes of everywhere. And obviously like London and places
Yeah.
like that, it's kind of like a microclimate. Whereas the Midlands just tends to be fairly, you know, we don't get like hurricane. I know nobody gets hurricanes, but you know what I mean. We don't get
Yeah.
anything at all like drastic. It's all fairly like, I don't know, like normal. Do you know what I mean?
It's good.
Yeah, it is good. It means that we can pretty much grow anything there or thereabouts.
Anything.
Well, maybe not anything, but you know, you know what I mean.
I know you've got to shoot off at 8:30, so we want to get through as much as we can.
All right then.
Do you want to have a quick chat about Gardeners World Live?
I'd love to chat about Gardeners World Live.
What
Yeah.
do you
Did you both?
think this year?
You both went, didn't you?
Yeah. We had Wednesday afternoon and Saturday.
Oh yeah. So I knew you were there on Saturday, and then Mark texted me to say I'm just sat by the stage. I went straight over to the stage. I'm like, no, you're not. I couldn't see you anyway. I looked behind the stage. I looked like in the little tent next to the stage and everything, just in case you were hiding. I couldn't find you anyway. So, but I had to shoot off. But I thought, to be honest, I had a good look around because I was there for 3 days, and I did have a good look around. But I found myself getting drawn in by particular gardens. So rather than looking at everything, there were whole bits that I completely missed. Like anything that was past. You know, where Nick Bailey's garden was on the corner, anything that was past there, kind of further past the floral market, I just didn't get to at all. I went on the Nectary garden, Kate's Nectary garden, and was on it for about 2.5 hours on Friday.
It's ridiculous.
So good, so good. And then I was talking to Jan, Flower Mummy, her garden, looking at that, and then Anthony, the gardening geek, looking at his border. And there were just gardens that I just didn't get to see, but everything that I saw, it felt like a really, really good year for Gardeners World Live. I don't know what you thought, but it felt really good, I thought.
We thought the standards were really high.
Yeah.
That's
really,
the show
really
garden,
high.
definitely.
The show gardens, fantastic.
Definitely.
Absolutely fantastic.
They just get better and better and better, and it's like Gardeners World. Not to say that Gardeners World has ever been like not important, but it now feels like if you do a garden at Gardeners World and get a gold, that it's actually really genuinely thought of. Do you know what I mean?
It means something, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but Malvern used to be the same, to be honest. Like go back 4 or 5 years, and I'm not saying people didn't care about Malvern, but it's a real achievement to get a gold medal at Malvern, and it feels like a lot of people do something at Gardeners World Live, then we'll do Malvern, and then we'll think about doing like a Hampton Court or whatever after that. Feels like there's a bit of a progression from them, but I thought what I saw of the show, I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah, it was good. So you do lots of stage talks there, don't you?
I did. I didn't do that many this year, but I did. I did one a day, Friday, Saturday, and then on the Sunday, I did one in the morning, and then in the afternoon, I was in the subscriber lounge.
Ooh.
Thank you very much. With Emma, one of the editors of Gardener's World, and it was kind of last minute, to be honest, because they asked me if I'd do it, and they said, "Oh, we'll just have an informal chat." I was like, "Okay, that's fine." And literally 10 minutes before, me and Emma sat down and said, "Okay, what are we going to talk about?" And so I was literally flying by the seat of my pants. Seat of my pants? Seat. Whatever it is. I was flying by my pants, regardless. And we decided that we were going to talk about lazy gardening. And then we ended up talking about kind of things that were just kind of garden hacks, but things that you could do just to be lazy in the garden. But truthfully, if I'm being totally honest with you, it was 3 o'clock on Sunday, anybody that was in the subscriber lounge was either shattered or off their face. So nobody was listening. Nobody was listening. I am under no illusion that nobody was listening. But it was fun anyway. And then got a cheeky little wave from Adam Frost, which was nice. And then went home with no plants at all.
Oh.
Didn't get a single plant. In fact, I took
I bought
plants
some
with me
herbs.
to the show. Took plants with me to the show and gave them to someone. So actually, I went away with less plants than I had to begin with, which is some sort of achievement. I know. And neither of them were for you guys, so it's not as though you can be happy about it.
I think both of us, we just bought herbs, didn't we, Mark? And that was it.
Yeah.
But you
Urban
could
herbs.
spend, you could spend thousands. The amount of plants in there, just phenomenal, beautiful.
And the value of the plants at something like Gardener's World are great as well, especially on Sunday, and especially because all the gardeners were selling off their plants. And they were so cheap. Some of them, there was one garden, I can't remember which one it was, but they'd got huge foxgloves, and I'm talking like 5-6 foot foxgloves, and they were like £4 each, and I was so tempted. I don't know where I'd put them, but I was so tempted, but I didn't. I was a good boy.
That's like £9 from a garden centre at least.
Easily.
Yeah, for a 2-foot one, probably.
Yeah, exactly. But I should have done. It's too late now. But next year. Next year.
Regret.
Yeah, exactly.
What did you think about? Sorry,
no, go on. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, what did you think about the inside, the gardening bit inside?
I was literally just going to say that. So I had a quick squiz around there. The only thing I'll say is, and I don't want to say anything bad, it feels like their houseplant bit has suddenly like shrunk again. Yeah. And they made a real effort last year, and the stage was really good, and Ellen Mary hosted it last year. And then this year the guests were really good, but it was actually nice, like they did this little greenhouse thing. But it feels like where the RHS are kind of going a bit mad with houseplants in a good way, that they've kind of pulled back a bit, which seems odd because people are still talking about houseplants, obviously. So I don't really know why they've done that. But the inside is pretty much always the same, isn't it, to be honest? But the houseplant bit was smaller. Spent quite a lot of time in the Good Food Show this year as well. I don't know if either of you did, but on the Friday I had a good wander around. Had a bit of gin, a bit of Prosecco, a bit of cider, a bit of vodka, and I was kind of semi-tipsy by the afternoon, to be honest with you. And then it was time to have a few samples. Chocolate-covered dates were the highlight of the Good Food Show. It was an amazing orange one. It got like an orange cream in the middle, and then it was covered in dark chocolate, and it got like candied orange on the top. Amazing.
We didn't see that.
I hope you're writing a list for all this stuff for next year.
I bet they're about £8 per date, isn't they?
I bought 3. I bought a little gift box of 3, and I think it was £14. But I ate 2 of them in the car on the way home because I was starving. And then I saved the one for when I got home. And it's the best £14 worth of chocolate covered dates I've ever spent in my life.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we noticed. We saw the houseplant stage was non-existent, really.
Yeah,
and it all shrunk. But we also said that all the other things, all there weren't as many people selling tools or demonstrating tools. You know, it just seemed like it's all shrunk a bit. And the food part had encroached more down the gardening bit.
I think you're right. I think the good food bit, the inside bit, had got bigger.
Yeah.
But then, like the flip side of that is that there are many more gardens this year, and there seems to be more gardens. So I suppose it's kind of hit and miss because that bit just outside the floral marquee, which I think they call the roundabout, it's like a roundabout in the middle. Yeah. That had all got gardens on it this year, and it didn't. I don't think that had any gardens on last year. So
usually the bandstand, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think they either didn't have a bandstand,
they did,
or it was somewhere else.
But you didn't go down there.
I didn't go down that bit. Yeah, but then the thing is that down that bit, that's where Ben's garden was.
That's it.
That was I didn't go down any of that, but I didn't go down there because that's normally where they're just flogging like the trolley basket things and whatever.
Yeah. And
I kind of thought I won't bother going down there. But then like right at the end, somebody said there's loads more gardens down there. I was like,
there is.
Tell me now.
Yeah.
Tell me now. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. But I just noticed that someone's commented saying it definitely wasn't as much overall there. It seems smaller. Heard it's meant to be moving, but I don't know if that's Good Food or Gardener's World.
We did hear that it's Gardener's World moving, not next year, still at NEC, but it's moving the year after. Only
where
down the road. I can't remember what they said, Mark. It's only 3.5 miles away, wasn't it, Mark? Something like that, to a stately home, or
Yeah, it's a stately home, and it's literally 10 minutes drive away. So I
should
assume
know
they're
what
going
that is,
down.
shouldn't I? Really?
you should do, yeah.
Yeah, I've got
It's
no
a
idea.
big, it's a big estate with a big manor house.
That's the only thing. Is like, I don't know if either of you have been to Bewley in spring and then the Orleans one in autumn, but both gorgeous. It's a gorgeous stately home and like grounds. And you go to the NEC and it's like a 1990s leisure centre.
Yeah,
It's like a massive 90s leisure centre, like blue and red. And I always think it's the biggest one, but the surroundings are just like they're just strange. It's just an odd surrounding. So I don't know what that would be, what the stately home would be, but that would be better.
Yeah, it's definitely.
as long as they've got the infrastructure to deal with it, I guess is the thing, isn't it? Because the infrastructure is so good at the NEC.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, literally, there's all the parking and stuff. But then Orleans and Bewley both cope really well with it. But Gardener's World is so much bigger. It's like triple the size of either of those. Quite small, actually, aren't they? But this was the first year that I came away from it thinking I'm semi-tempted to try and do a garden. And I've never been bothered before. But there was just something about Kate's garden, the Nectary garden, and the effort that she'd put into it, and the detail, and all of the stuff that she'd worked with, like 59 small businesses and all that kind of stuff. She'd put so much effort in, and it's left like a proper lasting impression. And I've not come away thinking, oh yeah, I could do that, because I know it's a lot of work. But I've come away thinking I'd like to try it in a team. I wouldn't want to do it on my own. I just don't think I can do it. But like 2 or 3 people that you really get on with and you could have a really good laugh with.
Yeah,
would be the way to go. But again, like Kate did that. Like Nick helped her the whole time, and
exactly.
Sarah,
She had a massive team if you counted everybody up over the week of building. She had loads of people.
Exactly. I could do it like that, I think, but I couldn't. I don't think I could do it on my own.
No, a lot of pressure in it.
It is a lot of pressure. Yeah. Definitely. But maybe you never know.
No.
You never know.
Oh, look at that.
Maybe a border. We'll see.
Exactly. Yeah.
Border, work your way up.
Start of a border.
Yeah. I think I'd want to do. But the thing is, they try and kind of coax you to move up a category, and I think that's what happened. That's what happened to somebody. I can't remember who it was, but they did a border, and then they asked, "Oh, did you want to do it as a showcase?"
It's Kim last year.
That was it. Yeah, that was it. But the judging is so much different. So you're kind of in it thinking that you're being judged against the border, and then suddenly it's a showcase garden, and the parameters have changed. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Bit of an exclusive there, possibly.
I'm not going to say yes. That's a maybe. A maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
So where did all this gardening luck come from then, Adam?
It was lockdown, like it literally was. I've got no other excuse. Literally lockdown. I was furloughed like everybody else, and I was actually only ended up being off for about 6 weeks, and then ended up going back to work. But in that time, I remember I hadn't really done anything up until that point, and it was just kind of mowing the lawn and doing a bit of weeding. And then one day I thought I'm going to get myself like stuck into it, but then realised obviously like garden centres were closed, nurseries were closed, you couldn't get anything at all. And I remember befriending the guy that ran the local nursery and said, could I have some compost delivered? And he said, we've got a really limited amount. You can either have 10 bags or 20 bags. And at that point, as like a baby gardener, I was like, 10 bags of compost? That's a lot of compost. Now, I obviously know that 10 bags of compost is nothing. But I had 10 bags delivered. And the next day, he rocked up at the house with this, like one of those big like crane arm things. And he'd got a pallet of them, and he dropped this pallet on the drive and put all the bags in the shed and put the pallet in the shed. And I remember thinking, I'll do something with that pallet. And that's how all the pallet stuff started. But during lockdown, I thought I'm going to redo the pots, I'm going to redo all of this, like having no idea what I was doing at all, to be totally honest with you. Still don't, if I'm being really honest with you. And that was kind of it. And I know loads of people started during lockdown, and I think 90% of gardeners that started during lockdown are still gardening because it's become, I'm preaching to the converted, but it's something you just become completely obsessed with. You can't be a half-arsed gardener. I firmly think you can't be a half-arsed gardener. Right. Like you have to kind of throw everything into it. And then if you'd have said like 5 years later that I was still obsessed and doing like all the stuff that I do, I'd never have thought that. Like, you know, I still can't grow radishes for toffee, like, you know, but I've got a podcast, so, you know, what more can you say? Yeah.
So I was a half-assed gardener before lockdown.
Were you?
Cut the lawn and whack the hoe through the
Yeah.
beds once a month, and that's about it.
Did you have an allotment then?
No.
No.
So my allotment is out the back. So we had a rough bit of ground out the back, and I've been saying for years and years, oh, I'm going to do something with that. And then, of course, March the whatever it was, 19th.
Yeah.
I'm at home. Oh, might as well. That's it. Do it now.
Yeah, exactly.
And luckily, I got a mate round the corner who's got a little mini digger. I said, "Oh, can you drop it off?" And I was playing around the mini digger and flattening it all. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And that's it.
Yeah.
From that single day, never looked back.
But that's the thing, isn't it? And I think we forget. And I was thinking this the other day because of how good the weather's been. I think we forget how incredible the weather was in that first
It was amazing.
lockdown. And I always feel bad saying this whenever anybody ever asks like how you started gardening. I always feel bad saying this, but providing you were okay and your family was okay and everyone around you was okay, it was a wicked time to be a gardener. It really was. Like, it was a real, like, we were stuck at home, we couldn't go anywhere, we could only be in the garden. The only downside was that the garden centres and nurseries were closed. But other than that, the weather was incredible, and it was just such a perfect time to be a gardener.
Yeah.
And I do wonder if there would be that many gardeners right now if it wasn't for lockdown.
They wouldn't be, because I probably wouldn't be.
No, I'm not sure I would be.
No.
I might have been, but it might have just taken a while to get there. But it's the same for like all the amount of people that took up like the guitar, or suddenly wanted to learn like Russian, or they were deciding that was the time to finally read War and Peace or whatever it was. You know, all those things that people wanted to do. I bet there are loads of people that took up knitting that would never have done it otherwise. So I think obviously there were negatives, but there were so many good like hobbies and things to come from that time where we were just forced to sit and twiddle our thumbs for a bit, because again, that first one we didn't know how long it was going to be either, so we kind of just had to throw ourselves into all these like crazy things, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
And you were worried the food was going to disappear as well, weren't you? It's like, oh no, the supermarket's going to have no food.
I know.
That was ridiculous.
That, though. I was in Tesco the other day and I had it was like a flashback. It was like the opposite of an epiphany. It was like the worst possible epiphany ever. And I remember in that first lockdown, the first time of going to Tesco, when we all had to queue in the car park. And I think we forget about that. And I remember queuing for about 2 hours to get into Tesco, and there was no bread. We'd got baby at the time. There were no nappies. There was no pasta. There was no rice. There was no flour, because everyone decided they were making bread. And you couldn't get anything. And there wasn't even the crappy trolley of plants that, you know, got the yellow stickers on or whatever. There wasn't even any of that. And I just had this like weird flashback to it the other day, and I'd forgotten how weird that time was, where you just couldn't get anything. I think we forget about that, don't we?
Definitely. That was such a strange time.
Such a weird
really strange.
Such a weird time. But in our garden, I just ended up ripping out everything that was in the pots and doing that classic thing of like just taking a little bit of the lawn, a little bit more of the lawn, and then suddenly I've got another bed, and suddenly I've got another border. And I remember when we moved in, I think we'd just got one border down the side of the garden. And let me flip the camera around actually, and I'll show you. So like down this side of the sunlight, then this side of the garden here, this border it's still not very deep. It's probably maybe like a metre and a bit deep. But when we moved in, it was about 30 centimetres deep. It just wasn't a border. It was kind of pointless. And so it immediately doubled the depth of that, and then added another little border at the end, and then dug away a little rockery here, and then added another thing here, and blah blah blah, and just kept digging away at the garden and just adding in all these extra like little bits and pieces. And then it was pots really that really like grabbed me at that time, and I just started growing loads of stuff in pots, and I just became addicted, like completely addicted. And it's just the best thing that has ever happened to me. Like, categorically, finding gardening has just been the best thing that's ever happened, because I know it's kind of a cliche and that a lot of us say this, but like, it's something to do when your mind is racing. That's that for me. Like, it's literally the thing when I get home. And I remember somebody putting this reel up a little while ago where it was like when you're at work, or like during the day, your mind is like racing, and there was just like noise, and then it's like they step out into the garden, and it's like it just silences. Like that's the only way I can kind of describe it. And I think that it's got so much to answer for, gardening.
Definitely.
Like it's been such a, it is a cliche, but it's such a healer, such a healer. And I don't know that I could have got through lockdown without it, because then in the second lockdown I was furloughed for the whole thing, and I think I'd have gone completely insane if it wasn't for that. Either that, or I'd have had a complete midlife crisis and bought a Porsche. I don't know. I'd have done something cheaper. It probably would have been cheaper, yeah.
You weren't allowed to drive unless you was going to the doctors or the supermarket.
I'm getting a Porsche, I'm going to get a Porsche just to drive to the doctors. Stick with the Nissan Duke, thanks very much. It's better for compost, so of course, as well.
we all got into the gardening over lockdown, but a lot of people got into Instagram as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
A lot of people, massive amount of people. I was probably 18 months later. I didn't get straight into Instagram. When I started the gardening, I got my garden, had the first year completely on my own, and then halfway through the second year, I thought, "Oh, I'm going to start documenting this."
Yeah.
Was you straight in at lockdown?
Do you know? I thought I was. I absolutely thought I was, but then realised the other day, because it was my 5-year anniversary about 2 weeks ago, and I didn't. For a start, didn't realise it had been 5 years. Like, I can't believe it's been that long. But I thought I'd started it literally as we went into lockdown, but it was like end of May that I started. So it was a couple of months. Yeah, it was because it was the end of March, wasn't it, that it started?
19th.
So it was
I think,
a couple of months. It was a couple of months in. So at that point, loads of people will have started an Instagram page. And funnily enough, I was looking to when my anniversary was, and that little bit in the settings where you find that out also tells you where you know when you've changed your username or when you've changed your bio, and it's got like And I'd completely forgotten actually that my original username wasn't View from the Potting Bench. It was Adam Titchmarsh. I completely forgot, and I think it lasted maybe a month, and then I thought, do you know what, if this ever becomes something, I'm going to have a lawsuit on my hands. So so I went with View from the Potting Bench. Adam Titchmarsh.
Brilliant.
I know. Adam Titchmarsh. Don't know where that came from actually, but yeah, changed it to View from the Potting Bench because I was sat in the shed behind me, and I was stood at the potting bench. I remember looking at it and thought, oh, I actually put a story up saying this is my view from the potting bench, and I think that's when I changed it. I need to go back through all my story archive and see if I've still got that story. Yeah. Wow. I think that's what it was. But yeah, I didn't really throw myself into it that much to start with. I think I was quite tentative because I didn't know what I was talking about. I don't know if you, well, obviously Mark, you were gardening then, but I don't know what you were like, Jamie. But I went back and looked at my first post, and it was this crappy photo of reels didn't exist then, a photo of 3 pots of herbs, and they must have been like 30 centimetre pots. They were like, well, this was one of them actually, this big thing here, that's like 40 centimetres, and I'd got this weedy little lavender plant in the middle of each one, and they just didn't grow, and obviously I now know why, because the pot was too big, but it's funny, isn't it, what we do, and then until we look back, we don't realise the insane things that we've done.
Look back and cringe.
Yeah, literally, that's how I felt. I looked at that and I went, oh, I felt like a grimace at the thought of the baby gardener that I was.
Just quickly about that, saying that plant was too small for the pot. I saw a reel earlier with James Wong.
Yeah.
And he was saying that there's been scientific evidence now that they've been studying the last few years, that the whole thing about the plant going up in size, just where you go, the next size up, that's a load of trash. Whack it into the big pot and then that'll do it.
I have always thought that, to be honest. Like, how would the plant know that the pot's too big? Because surely it would grow whatever roots it was going to grow and then just keep growing. Yeah. That seems correct.
That's how you get a pot-bound pot, isn't it? Because it keeps growing them and goes round and round.
Yeah. I don't know. But obviously if James Wong says it, then it's got to be true.
It's got to be, isn't it?
Got to be.
Definitely.
Yeah. But either way, my lavender didn't grow, but that was user error, I think.
Well, you might have overwatered it, underwatered it.
I can only blame myself.
So many things.
Only blame myself. And now, thankfully, I can grow lavender really.
Look at that.
It's just gone mad in the last few weeks. Like this bit of the garden is, I think, my favourite bit, and I've tried to do like a proper cottagey garden bit here. It looks, you know, when it looks really good with your eyes, and then you show a picture of it, and it just looks rubbish.
Oh, it looks awful.
It's just, I've just got salvias, got all sorts of. I've got like lavender, and this I think is Royal Bumble, and then mustard, and then just some more lavender, and these gorgeous. It's a shame they've finished flowering, but these massive poppies, just gorgeous pink poppies, and then I've got this. I'm going to show the bad bits. I've got this like random bit here that is just empty because that's normally where I'd have dahlias.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to talk about dahlias this year because it's been an absolute failure so far. But then just got a couple of roses here. These all need deadheading, but this one, it's looking a bit. But it's good. This is Bathsheba. I think it is Bathsheba. I think it is. And it's just. I wish you could. I wish you could smell it because it's so sweet.
You can't beat a lovely rose scent, can you? It's just the best.
No, you can't.
Roses and sweet peas are just absolutely phenomenal.
Can't be doing with sweet peas, Jamie. Sorry.
You don't like them?
It's not that I don't like them. I think they're just a pain in the arse.
Oh yeah, they are. But the smell, the scent of them, I just love the scent.
Smell, though. You know what I do though? I haven't done them this year. I did them last year. Loved them, but I felt I couldn't keep up with them, and I couldn't cook enough. So they went to seed really quickly, and then I remember ripping them out like start of August, and I'd got this big trellis that they were up, and they were gorgeous. But then when I'd ripped them out, I just got this empty trellis for the rest of the year. So I always think sweet peas should be grown with something else. The only trouble with that is if you're growing something like within them, when you come to take the sweet peas off, you end up just ripping everything else off as well. So it's almost like you should have something prepared to chuck in after that you can then wind around the trellis. Or I don't know, but I can't be bothered. Sorry.
No. I know what you mean. And I was talking to Kim earlier, and she's got sweet peas in her polytunnel, and she said she's picking for an hour every single night, and they're just doing a heading every night. So she's going to just have them down. I thought, oh my god.
No, I like them, and I do miss having them to cut, and I miss having them in a little jar in the house. Like, and the good thing is when you are picking them, you can just fill every room with them, even with a small plant or a small couple of plants. It feels like you can just fill jars and jars, doesn't it, for the whole house? So I do miss them, but I don't know if I miss them enough to grow them next year. Don't know. I think I'd rather just put in a really good clematis or something and have it there, like something that I know is going to come back, rather than sweet peas.
Well, what you need is a big pot with a big obelisk that you can move behind the shed when you finish with it or something.
That's true. Yeah, that's true, actually. I've got a couple of obelisks that I'm not using this year that would normally have sweet peas on as well, but I haven't. The reason I haven't is that where I'd normally put the obelisk is I'll show you. It doesn't look great, but this is kind of where I've eaten into the lawn. Again, don't look at my lawn, Jesus Christ. But this bit here, it looks kind of terrible at the moment, but this was lawn, and then I dug into it last year. I planned on doing a big dahlia bed here, but again, not going to talk about dahlias. But what I did at the end of start of this year was I got talking to Garden on a Roll at the Garden Press event, and they sent me a roll for this bit here. So I did that instead for this bit here. So that bit and then round the corner is just entirely perennials now from Garden on a Roll. Some of it's done all right, and some of it hasn't. Like these heucheras, like this one.
I love heuchera.
Obsessed with heuchera. Absolutely obsessed. This one is. I put up a reel actually this morning about all three of these, but this is obsidian, and it's just kind of that purple. I love the really purple, and the flower spikes are just heucheras are just amazing.
They are,
aren't they?
They really are.
I'm going to show you this one. I don't know what this one's called, but this one along here gets full sun all day long, and they shouldn't be in full sun, but it absolutely. They're shade lovers, but it absolutely loves it. So I'm not going to question it. If it's happy,
definitely not. No. You can get some lovely tanny red coloured ones as well, can't you? The lighter reds.
Yeah, I don't know if. So this one is.
Colour.
That is Hookerella Hopscotch, I think. There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get like you can get quite a deepish red, but then you get these like tinges of yellow on the. It's really autumnal, isn't it?
Does, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's, again, I don't know what these ones are, but these ones are kind of, I think they're hopscotch as well, actually. Yeah, Jenny's just said about tapestry. Tapestry is this one, which I love this because that, to me, looks a bit like
It's lovely.
almost like a fern, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
And if this were in front of a fern, I think it'd look really good, like a nice big fern behind it. Would look beautiful. Yeah. So I love a hookerah. Love a hookerah. I heard someone pronounce hookerah as hoochera.
Oh.
Hoochera. Yeah. And I'd never heard that before. I've heard hoochera. I think they were trying to pronounce it as like a French. Probably is French. I don't know. I love a hookerah. Love a hookerah.
Yeah, they're lovely. They are really nice.
Yeah, they are.
So I can't remember you as Adam Titchmarsh.
Yeah.
Funny enough. You've always been view from a potting bench for me, but I didn't see you on Instagram first. I listened to you first.
Oh, did you?
Long time ago, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
that's interesting.
I was learning and wanting to learn, so I was just listening, like I do now, listen to every gardening podcast I can ever get my hands on. And you popped up, and that must have been cool. Bloody hell.
Well, I started doing it. I don't actually know. I think it was probably about a year in, maybe, or so. But then my first season was the same as your guys, and I did them. They were as lives, and I'd just download them and then turn them into a podcast.
How was it?
And then, I stopped doing that. And I always remember my first guest was bloody forgotten her name now, haven't I? I always remember and then completely forget her name. Shannon, Diary of a Lady Gardener.
Yeah, Diary of a Lady.
That was my first guest, and I can't remember. In that first series, I had I had like the Drag Queen Gardener and stuff on, like that very first series.
Yeah.
And I was looking back at it the other day, and there were a couple of people that aren't on Instagram anymore. Like one that hasn't posted for 2 years, and two that just disappeared completely. Which is weird because you kind of don't see that very often. Most people tend to stick around for a bit, don't they?
You do, yeah, definitely.
I love doing the podcast. So I know you guys do, but
what
honestly,
made you do it then? What made you? What put that thing in your head about doing a podcast?
I don't know. Well, I think when I started really getting into it, I started listening to Gardener's Question Time a lot, and just kind of became, like you said, obsessed with just absorbing like every bit of gardening, whatever it could have been, like magazines and books and like everything. And I remember just thinking that I wanted to know more about people. And I genuinely, even now, if nobody listened to it, I'd be a bit sad, obviously, but a little bit sad. But if nobody listened to it, I still think I'd do it because I just love hearing what people have got to say about gardening. But more than that, I like hearing about people get into gardening. Yeah. And that's the most, like, I get comments on Spotify, and most of the comments on Spotify will say, oh, I didn't know you could do that, or I didn't know you could get in like that way, or whatever it is. And I always try to find people that have come into it in kind of weird and wonderful ways, if possible. But yeah, I just like listening to people. I just literally just like, I know that sounds like such a cliche, but I just like hearing what people have got to say about gardening, or like hearing what experts have actually got to say, and like right from the horse's mouth. Because I think a lot of the time, I love what we do in terms of like the guessing, and I love what we do in terms of being amateur gardeners and trying to like muddle our way through stuff. But I love hearing someone that's really passionate about something. Do you know what I mean? You know, when you can just, you know, when someone is so enthusiastic, you could just listen to them for hours. And I don't know if he's been on yours, but he's been on mine twice. Ben, British Flowers Rock. Ben.
Yeah, we've had it.
I literally, one of the episodes with him, I think I said about 4 words. I just sat
awesome,
listening to him, and because he's just so passionate about it, and I love it when someone's passionate about something,
especially like a niche thing that's like just like you've never even thought about. We had somebody that grows daffodils in their back garden, and she literally knew like when she needed to plant it to get the flower so that she could exhibit it at the show, and if something came up in the middle, she knew what she had to do to try and get that to
Right.
weight so that it would be perfect for the show.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like.
Do you know, I've never had anybody from like the show, like the show flower, cut flower show. I'm just saying words now that don't even make any sense. From that circuit, because I'd love to know. I'm always in awe of those people. And when we went to Harrogate earlier in the year, it was really warm in the tent, and some of the what was it? I want to say chrysanthemums, but I don't think it was chrysanthemums. There were chrysanthemums, but it wasn't those that I'm thinking of. I think there was a daffodil competition, and some of them looked incredible still, but some of them were just completely frazzled from the heat.
Right.
And, like, the pressure of getting flowers ready for a show like that, or especially a competition or a judging, must be so intense. Same with the show gardens, though. To be fair, like getting the plants ready, and then suddenly things aren't ready or aren't in flower or whatever. Like the pressure of trying to get that ready for such a specific time must be so intense. That's why I wouldn't. That's the only reason I wouldn't do a show garden. Is like that level of insane pressure.
That's where you've got to have the backups, I suppose, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got to be able to go and buy something if something's not doing what it should do.
Yeah, that's
you've
true.
got to fork out for it.
Yeah, definitely. Who was it that you had on? Who was that with the daffodils?
That was Mina in the garden.
Okay. Yeah, I know Mina.
Her knowledge was just mind blowing, like Mark said. Absolutely.
But that's what
phenomenal.
it is. It's the knowledge, isn't it? Like I could literally listen to someone talk about the most mundane plant in the world, but if they're passionate about it and they really know what they're talking about, you can just listen to them for hours. Can you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's all that exactly the same thing. Every little bit of knowledge is going in. So when next time you think, well, I know what's the matter with that. I know how to do that. It's just soaking it all up like a sponge.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are like as well, but I'm not a telly watcher. I don't like. I might watch Gardener's World every now and again, but I just don't watch TV.
I don't watch it religiously.
I don't know. The idea of just sitting down in front of the telly just is not my idea of like a good evening. I get that it's other people's, but I'd much rather be out in the garden. Like now, I think if I weren't on this, I'd be out here and I'd have a podcast on, or I'd have some music on or something. Yeah. That's what I like about podcasts, is that you can just whack it on. You've just got an hour or whatever to like accompany you while you're in the garden. And that's honestly, that's what I do with yours sometimes, is if I haven't got time to sit and watch, then I'll just put headphones in and leave my phone on like the potting bench or whatever, and just listen along. And that's why I like podcasts. But I never thought I'd ever have one. But to be honest, I think if you're an adult man, specifically of a certain age, and you went through lockdown, you have to have a podcast. Yeah. It's the law. It's just the law. I'm saying specifically guys, but obviously there's women with podcasts, but I don't know what it is about us, but we feel the need for everyone to hear our voice for some reason.
Listen to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's because nobody.
Even if we've got nothing to say. That's why ours works best, because we don't have to do that much talking. I say that talking for this whole hour, but and we can just let someone talk. And I don't know what it is about that, but you've got to have a podcast if you're 30 and above.
Why not?
Yeah, mine's nearly finished though for this series, so I've only got one more episode next week, and then I'll have a little summer break, and then I'll be back in autumn hopefully.
Yeah, we don't do that. We just plod on every single week. What are we on now, Mark? 92.
92. I think so. I must have had, this is series 8, and there's 15 in each. So can someone quickly do the maths? 30, 60, 90, 120. Is that? Yeah. But if you guys do one every week, you're going to catch up with me very quickly. Right. This is where I change to doing every single week now. Can't let you win.
We might get to 100 and just stop. Last round.
Go out on a big bang. Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. You just give my heart palpitations, Mark.
What are you going to do on a Tuesday night? Gardening?
My God, my wife will go, what's going on? I've got an hour and a half on my own. She normally has.
Oh, I don't know whether either of you know who this guy is, but there's a guy called Mark Maron who's like the OG of podcasts. He literally started podcasts before podcasts were even a thing. Yeah. And he's announced in the last few weeks that he's stopping his podcast, and he's been doing it for 15 years.
I used to listen to his, but a bit like, this is anyone that is not interested in podcasts then zone out now. But him and Joe Rogan are like the you either love them or you hate them, but they're the OG podcasters, and they've like Joe Rogan's got something like 10,000 episodes or something insane. Probably not that many, but it's a lot. And
and each one's about 3 hours long.
Yeah, that's literally what I was going to say. Like every single one of his are like 3.5 hours long. Some of them I listen to, but some of them like are just people that you've got no
what
idea.
What are they
about? They generally, so Joe Rogan's they generally have a guest. He used to do like an MMA one about mixed martial arts, but then they've generally got a guest. But some weeks they're fantastic. Like he's had like Brian Cox on and like literally like famous.
Right, okay.
Like famous people. But then he's quite he's an interesting character. He's a proper conspiracy theorist, and he has like literally people that think like the royal family are lizards, like that kind of level of crazy. I don't listen to those because I'm not buying it. But yeah, he has some wicked guests, but they are 3-4 hours long each one, and they don't stop. Like it's a conversation for 4 hours. Nobody leaves the studio. It's just insane. Yeah, mine aren't. Mine are literally half an hour. Thank God. I've got 4 hours to spare.
I think what's our longest? About 1 hour and 3/4, Mark, something like that.
I think we may have almost got to 2 hours once.
Last week's was long. I listened to last week's. Yeah. That was quite a long one. It was good, but it was long. Yeah.
That was Georgina last week, wasn't it? Yeah. That's because we had flowers and plants to look at, didn't we?
That's the thing. All of your Farmer Gracie hauls and stuff. I feel like you can't move for seeing the Jurassic Park. What's it now? I feel like that's all I've seen the last week. So much so that I was looking at the hostas at Gardener's World and I was trying to find one just so that I could join in with everyone.
They didn't
find have it. We asked.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I didn't get anything. Honestly, didn't get a single plant. And not even, I borrowed some plants from Middleton to do the talk. And I went and gave those back. Didn't even take those down. Thought I was going to get a little freebie, but I went and gave them back. The only thing I did get was the chocolate-covered dates, which were great. And then I got the most incredible cookie on Sunday. Don't know if you went into the good food bit, but they were like stuffed cookies, and they were like that thick. Like it was incredible.
We did see a cookie shop. Yeah, we didn't go near it. I'm
certain I've got diabetes now, so it was worth it. Though.
I did buy a Greek lamb Slovakia or whatever it was, and when I tapped my card, it went 17 quid.
17. I tell you what I did have that was one of the best things ever, and it was the most simple thing in the world, but that's why it was so good. Did you see the Jason sourdough thing in the middle? They were just giving out little free samples of like literally like tiny little pound coin sized bits of toast with butter on, and then I just went up and asked if I could have a full slice, so they gave me a full slice. But it was incredible. It was just exactly what I needed at the time. So
I did see that. Of course, I did see it. Yeah,
nice. That was nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. Can't wait for the next show. What are you guys going to? What's the next one you're going
to?
Hampton Courts in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
What day are you going?
Press day, Monday.
Press day.
Oh, are you? Okay. I'm there at the weekend, so I'll miss you again.
Yeah, we seem to keep missing each other at the moment. I can't remember the last time I actually
not on my part, anyway. I'm speaking to both of your wives and finding out when you're going, and I'm consciously not going when you're there.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be the first person to do the same.
Oh man, yeah, I'm going to Hampton Court on this Saturday and Sunday. I've got Blenheim Palace next week. Actually, that's a nice one. It sounds fancy, but it's not that fancy.
Sounds very.
It sounds very fancy, but it's not. Yeah.
So let's have a quick chat about dailies then.
Do we have to?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've struggled, didn't you?
And I've done this thing.
So has Mark.
Yeah. I love them though. If I hated them, I just wouldn't grow them. But I love them. But we have a wet year and a dry year and a wet year and a dry year, and I can't be arsed. If I'm honest with you, I can't be. I just want to have a garden full of things that I know are definitely going to grow now. I find my time getting less and less and less in the garden, and I just can't be bothered mollycoddling things.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And then I think it's such an investment of time with dahlias that when they're crap, it almost feels personal. Like you've waited and waited and waited, and then you just get this crappy little flower, and it just wasn't worth the wait. But which is sad because this year clearly is obviously going to be a proper good year for dahlias.
Even I'm managing it.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Do you know? But the thing is, I bought a whole box of them from Farmer Gracie, and it's sat just the other side of this door. I've not planted out, so I could still plant some out. I'm sure it'd be all right. I've got one
Probably
actually.
just
Hang on, I've got one, which is this one. I didn't get this ready purposely for the podcast, but I've got this one, and it seems like it's doing something.
It's doing something, yeah.
Yeah.
The line.
But I don't know. We'll see.
So you're growing the wrong dahlias.
Well, this is totally tangerine, which
That should be up and out, but now
pretty
they're the
reliable.
quickest ones.
No, I know exactly. Yeah, but I only planted this about a week ago, Jamie. So
well,
there you go.
then it's done really well.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it was like pushing its way out of the paper bag. It was desperate to grow. I took it out. It was already got this big shoot on it, and it was so desperate to get out. Yeah.
Hold on. If we're doing this,
That's my totally tangerine.
Is that totally
last week from Farmer
tangerine?
Gracie.
Nice. When
that's
did you
my
plant
last two. I've planted. No, these are from tubers.
Oh, are they?
But these are the last two of 30 that I planted in my garden this week.
30.
So hopefully I'm going to have a good show, yeah.
That's just greedy. Can you send some to me?
Yeah, I'll dig them back up.
Yes, please.
Those last two.
Yeah. Yeah, you haven't planted those yet. You've got no excuse, really. I thought we got some sort of payment for being on this podcast. I'll accept dahlias.
Okay, yeah. So dahlias, we've discussed dahlias. We know why you don't want. You're not bothered.
I love them. I don't know. I think I need to try and grow them in pots, perhaps more, because our soil is fine, but it's really, really, really free draining, which normally is great, but it doesn't really retain any moisture at all. So anything, even if we get a real heavy rain, they're just going to be cooked like constantly. Yeah. So I think even in pots they would be worse, but at least I could set up like a decent irrigation system or something on the pots and know that the pots are going to stay a little bit wet rather than it just completely draining away in the ground. Like literally, if I dug like a couple of feet down, it's still bone dry. It's so bad.
Really sandy.
But that's why the lavender's so big, because it's dry and it can cope with it.
Loves it.
And again, like heucheras actually don't mind a bit of dry, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, dahlias are not the one for me. No, not the one. I need to find an alternative, like something. I keep meaning to try peonies properly.
I love peonies, but they're there. Yeah. If you get a bit of wind or a bit of rain, they go bump. And they just.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, chrysanthemums. We're doing a big thing with Georgina about chrysanthemums. They're the next big thing. Definitely are.
They look great. I haven't really thought about them. I saw them at Harrogate, and they looked amazing. And they're massive as well. Some of them are huge, aren't they? Yeah.
And they feel a lot stronger and sturdier than dahlias.
They're hardier than dahlias as well, aren't they? Yeah.
And Chris has just come in, and I've got all of Chris's chrysanthemums that he left me when he moved to Guernsey. So I've got some really special chrysanthemums.
Oh, have you?
Fantastic.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I might have to get on the chrysanthemum bandwagon.
Yeah. Next
year. I have got some, but they're not doing. I'm not having a great year, am I? Everything you're asking me about. Like, no, this is rubbish. No, this is rubbish. No, this is rubbish.
What's doing well, Adam?
Maybe I need to spend more time in the garden and less time at shows. The heucheras are doing well, as previously shown, and the salvias are having an amazing start to the year. Amazing, but again, because they're Mediterranean, they don't mind a bit of kind of drought tolerance. But I've got to say, like it's the least exciting thing. But I planted up a load of pots of bedding plants, and it's not like it sounds that's really boring, but they've just gone like crazy in the last few weeks, and they're like, it's literally just petunias and like verbena and sweet williams and stuff, but they're going like mad. They look really nice from the window, actually. Like this one looks really nice. But yeah, I tell you what's not doing well. Tell you what is not doing well. Look at this crappy lawn. Look at this. Look at that.
The lawn at work is so crispy.
Yeah.
No, I can't be. I can't be. I'd love a nice green, luscious lawn, but I can't get obsessed with it. You know, like some people are totally obsessed with it. I can't be doing it. I'd love to, or I'd love someone else to be obsessed with it. I just can't. I can't be bothered.
My lawn's lovely and green, only because it's moss.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with a nice mossy lawn.
Exactly, and that's why I'm leaving it. If I weeded that, put some weed killer on it, oh my god, there'd be nothing left.
No.
So
Get some clover.
I'd love to do like a clover lawn. Love to do a clover lawn. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
Maybe one. Yeah.
Let's have a little chat about your Instagram reel style.
All right. Where are you going with this, Jeremy?
So when you first started, when you were first viewed from the potting bench, what kind of stuff did you do?
Well, except for that photo that I said of the crappy lavender.
Yeah.
Then it was all quite. I remember starting and thinking this is just like a little diary for garden.
That's what so many people say, isn't it?
Yeah. I just noticed Georgina said hello. Hello. And I've literally not looked at any of these comments. Don't know if you have, but
I can't see them. Mine
can't you?
Yeah, I think
well, hello anyone that's commented. Sorry. Yeah, it was just photos, and it was just kind of like a diary, to be honest. But then, realistically, it's only really been maybe like the last 6 or 7 months where I feel like I found my thing. Do you know what I mean? And it's quite. Like everything starts with like a did you know, or like a you know, like, 3 whatever to, you know, I can't think of anything now, but you know what I mean. They're all like that. Or I mean, there's a bit of gyrating that goes on, of course, like as there should be on everybody's Instagram course. Been known to gyrate on a hose fairly recently, and also there's a lot about dead bodies, of course, which is clearly what you're getting at, Jamie. Funny though, you know what's really funny is that I've been at loads of shows. Like last year, I was at loads of shows, and I had a couple of people come up and say, "Oh, you're Adam," but then literally at Gardeners World all weekend, no word of a lie. You're the guy about the dead bodies. You're the guy about the dead bodies. I was queuing for a gin sample, and a woman came up to me and said something about a dead body. I'm like, I just want a gin. It was so funny though. I quite liked it, and it's my own fault. I've only got myself to blame.
You can't put things out like that and not expect the everyone to get on.
I know. But the thing is, it's not as though I could just do one and step away from it. I think I've done 4 of the dead body ones now. And to be fair, I'm asking for it because I put a story up earlier saying, does anyone want part 5? So
you did, yeah.
So you know, I'm not going to stop. They're hilarious.
Yeah.
But do you know what's most worrying? There's one comment on the first one that is from a guy, I presume in America, saying like a really in-depth actual method of burying someone in your body, but which is worrying. But it's got something like 6,000 likes, that comment alone. So I'm possibly responsible for over 6,000 deaths across the world. So you know,
all these people have been thinking, how can I do it for all these years, and now all of a sudden, light bulb.
I would love someone to come up to me and say, "Oh, I watched your video about how to do something," or "I watched your dead bodies."
No,
is what it is.
Never mind.
Is what it is.
Come up in a trial.
It will.
Like, why did you bury? And then they'll be like, "Well, I saw it on Instagram."
At some point, someone's going to hold that against me as evidence, aren't they?
All you got to do is just plant endangered plants on them. They're not allowed to dig them up.
What I said in the first one, Jeremy. You've clearly been watching. Yeah.
Ponds with some newts in it.
Yes, I haven't done that one yet. That's in my drafts.
To-do list.
Still got to film that. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Chris said he's watching us whilst in the bath.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is that in the comments?
Yeah.
I can't see any of it.
Chris, I can't see him. Mine's still right from the beginning.
Well,
always
not
the
sure how I
same.
feel about that.
No,
Yeah, thanks.
Right.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, I think.
Oh, you just pressed the wrong button.
Adam, I know you said you wanted to go at past, but you didn't need to just leave.
Maybe he had a timer set, past.
He's proper just gone.
Come back in and say goodbye, mister.
Let's do the lightning round.
Yeah. Has he just literally gone
He's
off
come now.
the face here?
Back.
He's there.
I didn't mean to do that.
Was that your hard out? It's like, I'm
I
out.
swear. It was just, you know what it was? It was the thought of Chris in the bath that just made me leave. Yeah, see, look, he's just said it was me in the bath that did it. It absolutely was you. Couldn't cope with that image. Sorry, mate.
Right, come on in. Mark's got his lightning round for you, then you can go and do what
Okay.
you need to do.
All right, okay, let's do it.
Number 1, favourite band or artist?
I'm going to be an old man and say Fleetwood Mac.
See, I knew you'd say that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Do you know? But also, I really, really like, because I'm having a midlife crisis. I have got a real thing for Sabrina Carpenter, and I don't know why. That opposite of Fleetwood Mac, but I also really like Sam Fender.
Sam Fender.
Sam Fender is amazing. He reminds me of like a younger Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
And he's wicked. So yeah, Fleetwood Mac.
Good choice.
Nice.
In the summer, are you a cuppa in the morning sun or a cold drink as the sun goes down?
Morning sun, 100%. All the way through the year,
Okay,
not just summer, winter as well.
What, even with a coat on?
Yeah, 100%.
Hardcore.
Yeah, got to get out and check the garden, survey the landscape, haven't you?
Yeah.
Walk around my palatial estate. Yeah.
Next one, flowers or edibles?
Yeah, flowers. But I'm leaning more towards edibles. Do you know what? I joked about having a midlife crisis. I think I actually am, because I think that I want nothing more than a little house, a load of land, grow all my own stuff, build a chicken coop. That's literally what I want in my life right now. And if that meant no flowers, then I'd be happy with that. Yeah. So I am having a midlife.
I wanted to talk about veggies, but I knew we were limited, so I sacrificed
I'm
my...
happy to. I can stay a little bit longer. Don't worry.
Ah.
Go on.
Finish the lightning round, then we'll have a quick veggie chat then.
All right.
Next one, beach or forest?
Forest.
Easy choice. What's your go-to emoji?
The one with the hands that's like that. Because it says a lot. It's like, yes, but it's also like, I don't know, I can't think of other things, but I literally use that for everything. Or the laughing one that's like on its side with the tears.
Oh, yeah, that's what we all do, yeah.
Yeah, I think. But yeah, I like the hands one.
If you could only have one snack for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Very specifically, Haribo jelly babies.
Oh.
Yeah, they're the best jelly babies ever. Or just a really good cheese and crackers, but not like a crap cheese, like a really good cheese. I'll tell you what I did get from Good Food Show, a really nice mango chutney cheese, incredible. The Red Leicester, but like infused mango chutney, really good. So yeah, that. So good.
Crackers and cheese.
Yeah.
Finish
actually, I need to add another one in. You know, I really like cannoli.
Oh,
you know, they're like the Italian little. I love those so much.
With a cream down the middle.
Yeah. Jamie, can you never do that ever again?
It's all right. It's a podcast.
Do you know what was worse? Was that you did that, but then you wiggled it about. Oh my god!
Chris in the bath.
Dear. Chris is in the bath as well. Oh dear.
This is X-rated. This one. This is either getting no views or millions of views.
Yeah.
It's going viral. Finish the sentence. My perfect day would be.
A picnic in a park, followed by a walk in the woods.
Lovely.
And then a trip to the garden centre on the way home, of course.
Nice. Yeah. Perfect. What is today's favourite plant?
I'm going to go with this salvia. And for anyone that wasn't here earlier, I'm going to show it you again. This beautiful one.
That is beautiful, isn't it?
This one.
Especially with the purple one in the background.
Yeah, exactly. That's Amistad in the back. Oh, look, there's a bee. Let's get the bee. This isn't very lightning quick fire round, is it? Look, Mr. B. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, this one, I think it's I think it's Royal Bumble, that kind of reddy pink one. Yeah,
Bumble.
I
I thought you were going to say your little dahlia.
No, absolutely not. No. Oh, actually, I'm going to change. Well, I'm not going to change it, but I'm so excited about this. This is the longest quickfire round you've ever had. But I love these, and I've never been able to grow them before.
Oh yeah, lovely.
This one, I don't know what's going on with this one, but
Nymphophia.
Nymphophia, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah. So that, I think, let's go with that. Yeah. Okay. Is that the end of the quickfire round?
One.
No.
Oh no,
No.
there's more.
Favourite season?
Autumn's such an obvious answer, isn't it? Doesn't everybody say autumn?
Lots of people do say autumn.
Spring.
Sprummer.
I think spring, because you've still got like the hope of the year ahead, and like you've still got summer to come. But the downside of autumn is that winter's next, isn't it? So spring.
Yeah.
Spring. Yeah.
And it's so long until spring in autumn. It's just like, oh god.
Yeah. It feels like a reward, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Getting through like the depths of winter. Like, yeah. Spring.
When you start seeing the snowdrops pop up, you think,
here we
it's
go.
happening.
Yeah.
We're going.
Yeah. They were really early this year, the snowdrops.
Yeah. And they didn't last very long either because it was so warm.
It's too warm.
Bluebells were the same though as well. Like they seem to like spring up and then just disappear.
They were really, really fast.
Yeah. Super fast.
Really.
Yeah. I felt like the tulips were as well. Actually, they didn't last that long in our garden.
Yeah.
They were really wind battered, and they just, I don't know, they just disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spring.
Next one. If you could make one thing disappear from your garden or the gardening world, what would it be?
Cat poo.
Cat poo.
I'd love to just say slugs because that's what everybody else says, I'm sure. But
no, that's a good one.
We've got a cat that is clearly unwell. Very clearly unwell. Or it's all of the cats from the whole neighbourhood. But yeah, cat poo. Very.
There's nothing worse, is there? Weed in and go, oh no.
Yeah. No. It's the only. I hate wearing gloves. I don't know what you guys are like wearing gloves, but I have to because otherwise I'd just be covered in cat poo.
Smells the worst as well. Cat poo.
Yeah,
Like,
it's gross, especially when it's been
gross,
warm. Yeah. Anyone joining now, you're gonna get some snakes. Julian has just said.
Yeah.
Try that.
Speaking of
I really want to
snakes,
try
Georgina,
that. Oh, he's got one.
He's bought some.
the dog's just brought me this. Like, no, Dash, they're not for you. They're to stop the birds.
I really want to try that. Alice, you
It
joined
works.
literally at the worst time. Alice Hare has joined at literally the worst time. It's been great up until now. Now we're just talking about
cat poo and snakes.
Cat poo and
The
snakes.
snake thing does work because I've got a friend who's got a villa in Portugal, really nice. But they put big rubber snakes around their pool because it stops the seagulls. The seagulls don't come and swoop and poo all over it. So
that's crazy.
It does work, yeah.
But cucumbers as well. I haven't tried it, but I keep seeing videos on TikTok of people that put a cucumber behind. Have you seen them? Put a cucumber behind the cat like while it's eating its food, and it turns around, literally like jumps straight.
Freaks out, doesn't it? Yeah.
Like that might kill my cat. She's 17.
You know what? I'm not looking forward to the little thing that you put together about what we talked about because it's going to be cat poo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, out of context. Yeah, that's going to be random.
Excellent. You're going to remember one thing from this episode, and it's going to be cat poo.
I don't look forward to finding a picture to represent that though.
I can take many for you. I can see it from right where I'm sat right now.
Where were we? Oh, favourite weed.
Dandelions.
They are the best.
Not the only person to say that.
No, I think they look, honestly though, even when they're yellow and we all think we've got to get rid of them, they still look nice. And then obviously you've got the dandelion clocks that you can all blow. And it's really, really enjoyable when you get the whole root out as well.
Yeah.
So,
lovely.
Yeah, dandelions. Gotta be.
You can eat the
Exactly.
leaves and make money.
True. Has anyone ever said bindweed?
Yeah.
Really?
I feel
As
like
their
somebody did.
favourite?
Yeah.
Who the heck said that?
I don't
Who
know.
said that?
I'm sure somebody said bindweed.
As their favourite? Are they crazy?
Oh.
That's mad. Well,
I
I've
hate
got loads. They can have it if they want it.
Yeah.
Might have
Come
been
have some of
Kate.
mine.
Was it Kate Pumpkins?
I don't know.
No way.
Like craziness.
Strange.
Next one. Garden visit or plant shopping trip?
Garden visit, because most of them are going to have a shop, right?
That's exactly what was
Surely.
said before.
You know,
Yeah.
my favourite garden is I forgot now. Is Wallerton Old Hall. It's in Shropshire, Staffordshire. It's gorgeous, and it's like, if anyone knows Dixter, Great Dixter, it's got a similar massive display of pots, but it's not just small pots. It's like those, you know, those massive, huge terracotta pots. Did you see the ones at Garden as well, just by the red fish and chip bus? Like the massive, big ones. They've got like gorgeous stuff in them. Loads and loads of pots, and they do like salvias and dahlias and stuff, just like Great Dixter. But at the end, there's a little shop. So yeah, garden visit. There
you go. It was Sophia at Kelly House, Devon, who said bindweed.
Oh, was it?
I told you Sophia said it.
Really? You're crazy.
Yeah.
If you've got a valid reason, then fine.
Next one. Favourite garden scent?
Salvias, like hands down. Salvias. Again, I really like cut grass, but everyone will say that. But salvias just are just incredible. Anyone that doesn't like the smell of a salvia, I think, is mildly insane. They're just incredible. And do you know what I like doing is when it's been a hot day and you're watering. I know you shouldn't water over the top of stuff, but I always do like a quick spritz over the top of the salvias, and it just like wafts. It's just the best smell in the world. Salvias, yeah. Or tomato plants.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah,
We've had that a few times.
have you? Yeah, I'll stick with salvias. So.
And the final one. What would you want your gardening legacy to be?
That I buried 5 bodies in my garden. I've got no.
It's going to be that regardless.
I don't get to choose. That is my legacy. I've got no choice, I'm afraid.
You got to be careful with this, you know.
I've made my bed. I've made my raised bed, and I've got to lie in it. Let's talk about veggies then, Jamie.
Yeah, so you said a little while ago you can't even grow a radish. What's that all about?
No, I mean, I was lying, to be honest with you. I love radishes, and I can grow radishes. I absolutely can. But the problem is that our garden is so set up to be an ornamental garden. There just kind of isn't really space for it. I mean, there is. I know you can do loads in pots, but and we've got garlic in pots, and we've got a couple of apple trees in pots, and pears in pots, and blueberries in pots and stuff. So we can, but to be honest, I thought about this on and off for years, but this is the year that I'm going to get an allotment.
Oh,
Absolutely.
cool. That's what I was just about to say.
Do you know what I love about the idea of an allotment as well? Is just getting home from work, filling up the car with a load of stuff and just going to the allotment for a couple of hours. Like, I love the idea of going out into the garden. I love the idea of going off to the allotment just for a bit, and you know, you might swap some stuff with someone or whatever it is, all that kind of stuff. I just love the idea of an allotment. So
always comes up when we're talking about allotments, because obviously Mark and mine, our allotments are at home. They're our gardens, basically. It's just a thing of leaving the home and going out. So, right, I'm going to go there till lunchtime and speak to other people, discuss stuff, swap stuff. We don't get that.
No, I suppose you don't.
That's a big thing in the allotment community.
You both need an actual allotment as well.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I love it, but not that much.
You know what I'd end up doing though? I think I'm not like a stickler for it being neat and stuff, but I know if I started an allotment, I'd want to at least try and make it like nice neat rows, just to start with, to have a nice aesthetic allotment, and then I'd probably let it go wild after a little while. But so I always drive past. There's a couple of allotments by us, and I drove past one the other day, and it was beautiful. It was like it was a real stereotypical allotment. Like it was just gorgeous. Like every plot was just amazing. They've obviously got a really, really tough like allotment council or whatever, like getting them in check. But yeah, I like the idea of going to the allotment and harvesting a load of stuff and bringing it home as well. But then going back to what I was saying before, I think like my dream of having this like homestead and whatever and this big bit of land, you could do that there, can't you? Like you could do that there, like a nice little secret garden at the back. That's my dream. Little veg patch at the back. That's definitely the dream.
Yeah. So what things do you think you'd like to grow?
Just to be honest, I'd just grow what I eat, and I wouldn't be lured in by growing stuff that I don't want to eat. And I think that's the thing is when you I said that with no conviction whatsoever. No conviction whatsoever. But I would like to because our garden's not tiny, but because it's a mid terrace in the city, it's not huge, and I've never been able to grow anything like substantially. It's always been like one bag of potatoes or like a couple of pots of this, or like I can never do anything like massive. So I'd just love to have the ability to grow like a whole bed of something, and like do brassicas properly and stuff. I just haven't got the room for brassicas. But I'd also love to have kind of like a little mini orchard in an allotment as well. Just a few apple trees, few pear trees, and like I was talking to someone about medlar earlier, and I really like medlar jam, but again haven't got the space for it. Do you know? Interestingly, this was something I learned earlier, which I didn't know. Do you know what people call medlar other than medlar?
Cat bum.
Yeah, I had no idea. No,
it really does look like it as well.
You get what? Yeah, you get why. Yeah. So I want a load of cat bums on my allotment. I've got, to be fair though, based on what I said earlier, I've got enough cat bums here. This podcast is sponsored by the behind of a cat.
So why don't you, with your garden at home, why don't you interplant like so many people are now, and so many of the gardens and borders at Gardens World Live?
I could do, but also I'm just going to turn the camera around. We've got this bit here where I've got this playhouse that I built for the girls, and then next to it, a lovely cherry blossom behind, and then next to it there's a little raised, little kind of planter that I made that we do garlic in. There's some hostas in there at the moment, and then these monsters that I just don't want anymore. The only reason that we've got is because they're privacy, but I look out at these every now and again and think they get so much sun. And you could get some massive raised beds in there and just do. Or I did think about if I got rid of them and then where the cherry blossom is, I could just do fruit trees all the way along. But I don't know. I'm not really doing anything with the garden at the moment. I'm kind of happy with how it is. I'm not really changing anything at the moment, to be honest. So, but yeah, there's lots of food for thought. Like you can do a small garden doesn't limit you. It's just that it's kind of set up to be an ornamental garden. But I could do in between. You're right, could do that.
Yeah, they put all the rainbow charge dotted about and beetroot and carrots and everything, couldn't you?
Yeah, could do.
Don't, going back to the whole straight lines, mine is straight lines. I don't, people say blah blah blah, you shouldn't do do it natural. I like straight lines. I like to see the red and blonde Lollo Rosso going down one after each other all the way down. I love it. It just looks really nice.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's what does it matter if you plant a couple of carrots here and there? It's no big deal at all, is it?
Going back to the cat bums just for a second, Joe's just said that the same thing that they call straw flowers. Cat bums, but that comes from Joe Real Davis. Like she started going on about the cat bums, and everybody started calling them cat bums now. But they do look like a crispy cat bum.
That's quite a long process as well to make medlar jam. I think I've seen it on here or on TV a few times.
Delicious,
it's a long process.
The cheese earlier.
You have to let them rot. I'm sure you have to let them rot.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and then you have to process them all. Yeah. You have to let them go right over till they're almost rotten, and then you get them.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, delicious.
You're right. But yeah, I'd like to grow more.
That's the thing. Preserving, you can do all that. I'd preserve loads of stuff because obviously you have gluts. You're always constant all the way through. You think, oh, I'm only going to plant 25 of one thing, and they all come up at the same time.
Is there anything that you always get a glut of? You always get a lot of courgettes.
Always get quite a few courgettes. Obviously, things like sweet corn.
Yeah.
They all come at the same time, but I just freeze them.
Yeah.
But you've just got to remember the succession of sowing, haven't you? Just keep doing it every other week. Just sow more.
Yeah. We had really good garlic last year. I think it's going to be good this year as well. But it's again, I haven't tried yet, but I was going to lift a couple just to see whether they're ready. But I think they are. I think some of the garlic. Yeah. It's just been so hot and dry, hasn't it?
Longest day. Pull them on the longest day.
Yeah. When's the longest day?
21st.
Next week.
Okay. Yeah, there we go then. I think they've been ready for a while, but when you're just a bit tentative to put them on.
I think mine have, and now this last 2 weeks have started getting rust, so I'll have mine out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because they won't be doing a lot now. But all my onions are ready; they're all flopped over, ready to come out, and they look like a good, real good. Some decent sized ones this year, which is brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good year, definitely. Nice.
Yeah, brilliant.
All right, so more veg this year. That's what I'm doing.
Good.
In an allotment, hopefully. Yeah.
Have you applied?
No, but I had one last year. I was ready to have one, and then I said no because I knew I didn't have time.
Okay.
I think I'm going to have a bit more time this year. So, and as we've got where I live, there's one like half a mile that way, half a mile that way, half a mile that way. There's loads around here, and there's loads of empty plots. So I don't think I'll struggle again, to be honest. So yeah, hopefully soon, and it just needs to apply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you go for a full one or just a smaller one?
I can't do things by halves. This is the thing. I'd have to just go all in and just throw my, because I know for a fact, because of the way like my personality is, if I got a half plot within like a day, I'd be thinking, crap. Yeah, definitely. Because the thing is, if I get a full plot, I want a little shed, and I want like a little, do you know what I mean? I want to have space to be able to do everything properly. Nothing wrong with a half plot, but I just think if you're going to do it, you might as well just go for it.
Yeah. Little polytunnel, so you can grow some tomatoes and cucumbers.
Exactly.
Yeah, lovely. Which tomatoes are the best thing to grow in the world anyway.
Do you know that I had one of the nicest tomatoes that I've ever had the other day, and it was only a gardener's delight, so it wasn't like a crazy one, but it was from Kate's Nectary Garden. It was one. It was one from in the greenhouse.
I nicked one,
and it was
warm, as well.
And it was they were delicious, delicious. But because they were warm, they were like properly warmed by the sun. They were so nice.
Can't beat it.
Who grew her tomatoes?
Nick, I think.
Was it Nick?
I don't. Well, she grew all the vegetables.
I don't know.
She grew the tomatoes.
Well, I think somebody else grew the tomatoes. Maybe. Something's telling me somebody else grew them.
Maybe. Yeah.
But they were amazing. I mean, they're just like all the way down.
Yeah, they were really good.
Yeah,
really good.
They look fantastic. Right, I am going to have to go, lads, I'm afraid.
Yeah, thank you so much, Adam. It's been a blast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, really good.
Coming up.
Thanks so much.
All right, no worries. It's only taken however many years.
92 episodes.
Two now.
Never mind. All right, thank you very much, lads.
Fantastic.
Thanks,
cheers, mate. See you soon. Ta-da. It's getting an allotment.
The view from the allotment bench.
Yeah.
So we had Sophia said, how do you know when your potatoes are ready? So it depends what variety of potatoes they are, and it depends when you planted them, really.
Yeah. The old way was after the flowers are all gone, didn't they? But not a lot of people do that anymore.
Or the foliage starts to wilt a bit. That
wilt and die off, go brown.
But if they're first earlies, it's 10 weeks from when you planted it. If they're second earlies, it's 12.
Something like that.
And
I think the main crop is 16 or something. Yeah. Or just have a little fertile around in there.
Yeah, it depends how big you want them. If you want new potatoes, they're probably ready if you've had them in for a couple of months. Yeah. So give it a rifle round. But I've only got one lot that has started flowering, and they were the ones that started growing from ones that I left in the ground last year. So.
Oh right, yeah.
They'll probably be about ready now.
What's that word that we use for that? When been from last year? You know what I mean, don't you? They're. Oh, I can't bloody remember.
There is a word. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Don't know. Yeah, just have a fertile around in there if you can, or just have a little lever with a little fork. Yeah, go back on here. Should be a.
I think the Duke of York.
I don't know. I think you're just going to have a little rummage.
Just have a rummage. Did you not post about it on Instagram, Sophia? Scroll back.
Yeah, there must be something. That's what Instagram's about.
I was trying to think when I started harvesting my asparagus, because you're only supposed to do it for like 10 weeks. I think I'm there now, so I'm gonna have to leave it now, which is always the worst. Because I love eating asparagus fresh from the garden.
Every year I keep saying, no, I'm not going to bother putting any bloody asparagus rounds in. And then if I'd have done it 2 years ago, I'd have been
harvesting it now.
It's always the way, isn't it? Always like, Moss, what are you doing? That dog, oh my God, look at that dog's done. Since I've been on here, let me turn that camera around.
He's had loads of plant pots.
Look.
Oh my God. So how many plant pots has he destroyed?
They were all sitting there from my dahlias. Moss.
Cheeky little.
Oh my God, it was all in a nice pile. And he's just shredded them all. Little sugar. God, you hooligan.
Dogs, who'd have them?
Oh, it's because Teresa's not here, so I'll brought them out with me.
Now you know what it's like having Dash in the garden. They're just not as noisy about it.
Yeah, he ain't been barking at me all the time. What's that on your face for? Go away.
Eating my rubber snakes now instead.
Oh, yeah. He's found them. He's not scared of them.
No, I wish he was. He was interested when we were putting them out, but he's left them up until now. But at least it means I can move them about when he's had them. Because you're supposed to keep moving them. Because if they just stay in the same position, the birds learn that they're not.
So where have you put them?
Everywhere. So I've got one next to my red cabbage plants because the pigeons had discovered those and they haven't touched them since.
Oh, really?
I've put one in each of my black currant bushes because they were getting eaten as soon as they went black. They were having them, and they've not touched them. And there's loads of. I need to harvest them now because there's just absolutely tons of black currants on there. They're on my strawberry plants because again, as soon as I had any red strawberries, they were gone. And there are, I think, the other ones are on my black berries because they're just starting to get going now as well. So yeah, anything fruit related, I've just chucked it on, and brassicas as well. Obviously, they won't stop the cabbage whites, but
no.
They'll stop the pigeons decimating things.
Might get some of them then. What about raspberries though? Because my raspberries are not really single canes. They've gone into just left them to be in a big bush.
We'll just
chuck them on top of it.
Just put it on top. Yeah, that's what I've done with the blackberries. I've just black currants. I've just put them on top. So if the birds are sort of hovering around, they'll see the snake and hopefully bugger off.
I'm gonna get some of them.
But, yeah, I mean for £8,
it's better than nets. I just hate seeing nets. I know I've got to do it, but just hate them.
I hate doing it on the strawberries because when you want to harvest them, you've got to then take the net off and then put it back down like such faff. But yeah, for it seems to work. No chemicals.
No chemicals, which is the main thing.
Definitely. Imagine what my dog is doing. He's gone somewhere. I think he's eating a rubber snake.
Oh dear.
It's going to be half a rubber snake in a minute.
Whoops. Right. Another good show, Mark.
Should we just mention this as well quickly?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So after Gardener's World on Saturday, me and Jamie were invited to go to see Matthew Wilson, who's a previous guest of the podcast's band, who's got an album out called At Terminal Velocity. And you can get it on all the streaming services. And Matthew is the lead singer of the band, so
which we didn't realise.
We didn't realise, no, and he can blooming sing, can't he?
He can belt them out. He definitely can.
Yeah. So hidden talent of the garden designer Matthew Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're looking for something to listen to, go give their album a listen.
Yeah, give that a listen to. It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, really nice. And nice to meet another one of our previous guests in person.
Yes. It's funny, we were on Wednesday, weren't we? We were in the floral marquee when they were giving the awards out, and we were going, oh, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. There's We could have got up a nice little bunch there, I think, if we'd have tried.
Group photo.
Yeah.
Be a big group if you got all of them in now.
Because
there's only a few that we've had on twice.
Chris?
Yeah, and a few that we've had just us. So it's probably about 80, 85.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, fair amount of people. Lots of
good
stories.
And I love it. I just, even like Adam said, I enjoy it. Yeah. Even if, there's nobody bothered watching, I still enjoy doing it.
Well, that's the thing. Like if you don't enjoy doing it, we wouldn't do it. So, we enjoy talking to each other and talking to everybody else on here in the comments that comes on every week and contributes. And then all the wonderful guests that we have that have got, every single one of them have got a unique story. So
that's the thing, isn't it?
It's not about how many followers you've got or, how famous you are. It's if you're into gardening, then we're happy to talk to you.
Definitely. Yeah. If anybody wants to come on and have a chat about a thing, just let us know. We can't pick and choose everybody. So if you want to, just give us a shout, and you're most welcome to come on and have a chat with us.
Yeah, drop us an email.
Yeah, or a DM. Because I suppose on Spotify, is our Instagrams on Spotify?
What
you put them on there?
Yeah,
our actual handles.
Yeah, it's on. Oh, it's on the description thing.
No, all right, okay. Yeah, so you can either DM us on Instagram or email us, and come on, anyone.
Debbie says you've got to keep going until you're in your rocking chairs with pipes. Have to build a porch, so sit on the porch and rock back and forth.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I just wish my blooming comments worked. They never work. Rubbish. I got about 6 comments. My last one was the rookie gardener and hi to you, Mark.
That was hours ago.
I know, right at the beginning. And I haven't touched them either.
And you've got a new phone, so you can't even use your phone.
Brand new phone. I've sorted all the internet was perfect. I've charged it up fully and nothing. Not just
Instagram's problem then.
Yeah. Never mind. Right. Dinner time.
Well, no. It's not. It's like nearly bedtime.
I haven't had anything. Like normal.
Need to go and rescue the rubber snake.
Go and find Dash.
Give him a clip round the ear.
I'm sure you won't. Right, thanks everybody.
See you
again
next week.
Been fantastic. Thank you, Adam, and thank you, Mark. And I'll speak to you soon.
See you later. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Through the Garden Gate.